Hey everybody, we're here with just a little kind of quickie video set because this is a awesome fun game that I just learned about and got into. It's called Stardrive. It's in beta right now. You can see that both here, lol. And yeah, it's basically it's like, I think they call it 4x strategy games because it's basically like just some grand strategy game where you start out with kind of like a home place and you expand. It's a lot like Civilization. If you've probably heard of that, if you've heard of any of these types of games, because that's kind of the more famous one at the moment. But yeah, I guess let's get into it. This is obviously in space, in case you did figure that out. So you click new game and you have all this jazz. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opponents to 5 other opponents, because I had 7, so there were 8 people including me last time I played. And that just felt like too many people. Also, I'm going to be the Kularathi, because these, I don't know, I just love these guys. They're hilarious. They're like Japanese bears. Oh yeah, I suppose I should explain this quick. You have these like traits and crap. There's 3 different categories, and you can pick them. Some are worth like some take away points, so you can spend more. Some take up your points, and you have 11, I believe. So here's the basic one they get for them, but I'm gonna go to my own, which I have actually written down so I don't forget what I wanted and pick something dumb, because there's a specific thing I wanted to do. So yeah, the Kilrathi are really cool, at least I think so, because they they're like Japanese bears. They like talking some poetry crap, and they like eat sushi and crap, and I like the way their ships are designed, that each race has their own like ship hulls, as you can kind of see in this. So you can kind of use that to gauge who looks cool. Like these guys are kind of squid people. These guys are kind of just like, I don't know, whatever. These guys are kind of cool, leafy people. But yeah, I like these guys' ships quite a bit. And I don't know, they're a military unit. Their beginning one is a swords bear. It's a bear with a sword, and I just find that hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna do. First thing I always like to do, I'm gonna get less fertile. It makes it so your planets grow more slowly, but that's not a huge deal in the beginning, because in the beginning, a lot of times you're not gonna have a huge surplus of food on planets other than your home planet, so you won't grow that fast anyway. I'll explain more about this once I get in the game as well. I'm gonna get smart because it gives you bonus research, which I love. Get rid of blind, and we'll get ponderous. This basically makes my cannon projectiles be crappy, but I'm gonna plan to go into lasers, so that shouldn't be an issue. That's one workaround of this. It's gonna make me kind of crappy until I can get lasers, though. And ponderous makes my fighters take more damage, but I don't think that's that big of an issue. It's only 25%, and it's only your fighters, to my understanding. There's like 4 different, I think there's 4 or 5 different classes of ships. So fighters are kind of like the little ships, so it's not so big of a deal, I don't think. We get industrious, bonus production, it's always good. Meticulous, so we get extra tax income, always good. We're gonna get naval tradition, 35% reduction to shipbuilding costs. So I have this and my production, so I can build ships really fast, which I really like to do. It's very delightful. And huge homeworld, so we can have a larger homeworld. I've tried to play with a small homeworld a number of times, and it is just, it's really hard to do. You have to get a good starting spot. If you don't get a good starting spot, you're basically, your early game is going to be just terrible, and you're going to spend the rest of the game catching up. Anyway, we're going to keep the standard stuff. You can change all of these, and it reflects on this thing. So this is changed because of my stuff. Like it'll say, with an average reproductive rate. It shouldn't say that because I'm less fertile. I don't know. It must be bugged or something. It usually changes. So I'm going to pick a cool symbol. Let's pick the sun symbol, and we'll make it there, yellow. All right. Cool beans. So I think we're ready. Let's engage in glorious combat. I didn't press it. There we go. Did you know you can capture ships with boarding parties? I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I'll try that this time. Try and capture some ships. I kind of want to go into EMP stuff as well. Okay. I instantly press spacebar to pause. This game it's kind of real time, but it's based around turns. Turns are 5 seconds at 1 time speed. You can press plus and minus to change it. You can see in the top right. Let's just see how high I can go. Times 20, times 30, times... I don't want to bother going anymore. But you can go up really high. I usually keep it at like times 4 or something when I'm not doing anything in particular. So you can change that. Every 5 seconds is a turn at times 1. So if I have it at times 5, every turn's a second. That's kind of how that works. So you have these ships This is the Perseverance is like just it's just a fighter ship you get in the beginning. It's like the game gives you a free combat ship, and it's called the Perseverance. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to explain all this stuff right away, what all these icons mean, because I want to kind of do a little bit of gameplay. You can pull this if you pull. Oh, whoopsies! If you pull out this arrow, it shows the commands you can give this ship, so I can have it do like base defense, order this ship to engage in automatic Empire defense, tell it to resupply. I'm gonna tell it to explore. Same thing. I'm gonna tell this one to explore. And this is a colony ship, which I can use to colonize another planet. I actually started with an anomaly in my system. Anomalies are special stuff on planets, basically. So it's this thing. This thing's a tomb, and you have a chance of getting something cool from it. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do right away is build a Kolrathi sword bear. I'm going to lower my food production. Okay, yes, so I'll explain. This is the city screen. I shouldn't just start doing stuff. So yeah, I already did some stuff. Here's where you can control what you're producing. So right now it's 0.4 food per turn, 7.1 production, 1.6 science. Here's my food and stores and production. I want to change these to export. If you change these to export later on, I'll talk about this later on, because that doesn't really matter until you get multiple planets, multiple colonies. This is where all your buildings are. The lightest squares you can build on, you can see I already have the capital city and the spaceport. On these are uninhabitable land, you see it says, just for whatever reason. Some planets have uninhabitable land. Here's some more planet info. You can see it's Terran, which means it has 1 or greater fertility, I believe. That's what it means. 17.5 population cap right now. It's at 14. 2 fertility, 2 richness. Now what this means is each of these intervals corresponds to 10% of your population working. So each one is 1.4 for me. Each one of your population you have working on either production. If you have 1 population working on production, because my richness is 2, that 1 population produces 2 production. With fertility, that 1 population produces 2 food. That's how that works. So this is a good planet. I mean, having 2 in each is very well rounded. Some planets will have 0 fertility, but like 5 richness, and it's like those you have to ferry food to them and stuff. But if you can get them having a large population, they can produce a shit ton. The problem with those planets is generally they also have a low population cap. So over here you build stuff. So buildings, can't build any buildings yet because we haven't researched anything. Ships and troops. So speaking of research, I'm going to go to the research tab. Here we are. First thing I always like to research personally, interstellar governance. It's the cheapest research thing in the game. And if you right click on it, you can see what you get. You get the Imperial offices, 0.25 credits per colonist. So I have 14 on my main planet, so that would automatically put me, I won't have to do any tax rate. And we'll go with tax rate right now. As you can see, right now tax rate's at 25%. I can lower it to 0, and I'm losing money. If I had the Imperial offices, I could have it at 0, and it won't do anything. And now the thing with tax rate directly removes production. It directly takes a percentage of production in science in your empire. So right now I lowered that, and I was at 7.1, I think, for production. Now I'm at 8.6. That's because I'm taxing it less. So that's very useful. But yeah, I think that's about all we're going to do for right now. I'll explain more as we continue. I might want to colonize this planet. It kind of has crappy food, but it has decent production. But we will see. Let's look at where I am in the galaxy. I'm kind of in my own corner, it looks like. Okay, so over here we already have remnants. Some galaxies have remnant ships in them. They're generally guarding pretty good planets. We'll see what that is in a second. Unexplored Terran, I might want that planet because it's going to be fertile for sure. So yeah, they have this shit here, and they're annoying. If you kill them, you can kill them and you can take that planet. It's really helpful. Anyway. So Kolrathi Swords Bear is almost done. There we go. I think I'm going to make... I would really like to kill those dudes ASAP. I'm going to focus a lot in science, though, because I want to get my science really fast. Maybe not all of it, but, quite a bit. I feel like I want to kill those dudes pretty quickly. I should build a couple more sword bears, I think, maybe. I'll build some fighters. If I build like 10 fighters, I think I can take those dudes out. Might not be. Oh, I should have sent this guy. If you right click on your units on here, they'll launch off into space into their own little ship. You have to quick press space and re-click it to be able to select them, which I find kind of annoying. We're gonna send this dude over here. Got an anomaly over here as well. Okay, this place is actually not fertile for shit. Oh, because there's electrical storms. Okay. So yeah, just because it's Terran doesn't mean it's that good for inhabiting. Okay, so yeah. These buttons down here, this one just brings it in like here, like you've seen before. It's the same as double clicking. This one brings you down to this like ground mode. And here you can click on your troops. You can bombard if you have ships with bombs, and which we probably won't worry about a whole lot. But you also have this dude. You can drag him down to tiles. Some tiles you can't land on, but so we get the Rage Crystal, Empire-wide ground combat bonus of 10%, which is pretty good. We're gonna immediately get him out of there. I just have to remember I have to remember there are skeletons on there, so that's kind of troublesome. And what do we have here? What's on here? Another one of those. So hopefully I can get another artifact, because artifacts are really good. See, I get 10% ground troop bonus, which is pretty good. I'm gonna have to raise my taxes a bit. Oh, there are freaking dudes over here too. There are more of the more of those dudes over there. I think I'm gonna go into heavy fighter hull first. Do I want to do that? I think so. I want to do that because then I can make heavy fighters. I can more likely kill these dudes. Oh wait, so we got dudes over there, and we also have a heavy drone over here. So he's turning to fire at my guy. You can zoom in really far, and you can actually see them. But I'm gonna land quick. See what's in here. 3% increase to all science. It's pretty good. Right here, just tell us what we get for researching that. Alright. I don't believe there were any more anomalies at present, so I'm gonna have this dude return back to base. Oh, I must not have selected him. Not bad. Okay, probably one of my... because I haven't quick press spacebar and shit. One of my big problems with this game, I think it takes too long to scroll out and in. I really wish it didn't take so long. But, oh well. So. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this though. In your production, you have store production. You can use it to quick build stuff by clicking this, but it costs money. But it's totally worth it because now look, I'm making so much money, it doesn't even freaking matter. I'm actually going to quick build a lot of stuff. Just because I want to get these fighter planes so I can, this moves stuff up and down production. I want to get those so I can, you see my money went down because I have to pay more now for the ships. But I'm going to get rid of my taxing all, like, completely for now. What's this place have? That is a fucking good planet. You are a good fucking planet. Holy shit. Colonizing that right away. You click colonize on here. It automatically sends a ship over. You can manually send the ship over as well by clicking on it. But if you don't have a colony ship, it'll build a ship at like the closest area. Kind of a crappy planet. It's barren, so it has no fertility. It's very difficult to colonize those in the beginning. That planet up there is like really good. Well, isn't that like better than my home planet? You can also press escape to zoom out really quickly. I always forget to do that because I just found it out. That's better than my home planet in terms of fertility and production. I mean, it doesn't have the biggest population cap, but you can improve population caps by building biospheres later, which I will undoubtedly do on that planet because it will be totally worth it. What I need to do is I need to make a transport. quick. And have my transporting goods. And I also want to have another transport to transport colonists to that other planet. I'm going to turn back the science a bit, because I want to produce right now. The downside is just those fighters are going to be kind of shitty, because I believe they're using cannon weapons. I can check. So let's go into Shipyard quick. Here you can build your own stuff, basically. So here's the Fang fighter hull. I think you can load the actual fighter here. So if I load this, I can see exactly what's on it. So you see it has 4 nuclear reactors. Wow, this is dumb. It's a pretty shitty ship design, not gonna lie. I don't like it at all. So these cannons are gonna be shitty because I have the other stuff. But they have 4 nuclear reactors in their cockpit in the very front. These explode when they're destroyed, so if they hit some of these, this thing's gonna get destroyed so fast, and then it'll be out of power. I don't know. It doesn't need this much power. It's a really dumb design, I feel. I might make my own in a second. I didn't realize it was that dumb. That seems really dumb to me. So here goes my dude up here. What we're going to do is, if you press B, you'll open up the build screen. You can build shit. This is really the only thing you can build right now in the beginning. It's one of the few things you can actually build in the game that's decent. It's a subspace projector. It basically lets you go faster to places. So we're going to do that. It's going to cost... Now it has to make these transports. Anomaly. Over here. Wow, that is a large planet population. Is that a good planet? That has a lot of fertility. Yeah, I'm going to colonize this in a second then. We're going to want to colonize that, not colonize. That means I'm going to have to make another colony ship right here. I'm going to have this just on store right now, because putting on an export, you can see right here what it does. 25% of its production goes into here, and I don't want that. I want all of my production. I want to send 2 bears over there, because enemies might pop out, like they did over here, and because there are probably still enemies on here, yeah. And if I want to kill those guys, because they could potentially kill my colonists when I land on it. Heavy fighter hull is unlocked. Perfect. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to go into industrial foundation and then aeroponics. So now this place is colonized, right? So look how good this place is. Normally when you build a place, you have 0 on both of these and like 0 on everything. But not with this place, because this place is awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do is build an imperial offices, because it doesn't cost any maintenance. Like I think you can check up here what it does. Yeah, it doesn't cost any maintenance, whereas this does. And this gives a 50% increase to tax incomes, but it's not, that doesn't even like mean anything if your place isn't producing a lot. So it's just really not worth it at this point. So yeah. Now those ships I set the transport stuff, like this dude, you can see he's picking up food, he's going to bring it over there. So there we go. So we're going to bring these guys over to here quick. Quick clear off that planet. What are these planets like over here? Kind of shitty. That's kind of a shitty galaxy. Once I get better tech, I might colonize that planet, but... What the fuck? You were like right there. You could have just gone and explored that planet, and yet you turn around. I don't understand. So yeah, these dudes are building the subspace projectors. So you can see this one's going to get built. It kind of expands my influence, and it makes people go faster. I don't know if you saw that burst of speed, but they did go a little faster. Yeah, so... What's this place doing? What's our homeworld doing right now? Nothing in particular. Okay. We're going to build a... I researched heavy fighter hulls. I guess I have to make a heavy fighter. So we're going to make a heavy fighter just so you guys can see this. So you can select your hulls over here. That's the first thing you're going to always want to do. So there's our hull. If you right click, you can drag it around like to different spots. if you want. So yeah. Right now I'm going to just drag it over here so I don't have to move as far. Okay. So what we're going to do first is probably do engines. Where are engines? Okay. So you have smaller warp engines and fighter engines. So I have 4 engine slots. If you consider it, just check this out for now. Okay. Small engine's 10. The fighter engine's basically better in every way than the small engine, except it doesn't cost, it doesn't warp. But it's still really good for maneuverability, so I'm going to put a couple of those in there. And then I'm going to put in 1 warp engine, because it gives you so much warp. So imagine if I put 4 warp engines in there, I'd have as much power as if I put in 4. I mean, it costs as much power as if I put in 4 warp engines. I'm using half the power, and I'm gaining. I'm slightly less thrust and turn than if I had 4 small engines, but I have way more warp, and I'm using a lot less power. So I like it a lot. And so for this, I could use a medium nuclear reactor. That would give me all the power I need, probably. Gonna have to be. I don't think I need any more power at this point. Then, so storage. We're gonna need a command for sure. Put the command. Let's put the command inside here, so it's a little hopefully a little protected. Storage, we're going to want ordnance storage, because ordnance is basically gives you ammo and stuff. Here you can change the field, the arc. If you hold down left click on them, you can change the field of arc, like the arc of where they fire. So you can see they're not powered. You have to use power conduits to get power to them, basically. And so now my entire ship's powered because it has all these yellow squares. Tons of ballistic cannons. Alright, and now we're going to want ordnance stuff for sure. Probably ordnance in all the rest of the spots, honestly. I mean, not all the rest of the spots. But it's like, what else would I put there? So I feel like just having 2 ordnance might not be enough. I want armor here for sure to protect the cockpit. So I think I'm just going to do this. And then we'll put some crappy armor on here to help protect this thing. And then I don't want other engines, so the one thing you can do is you have extra engine slots, is just put a power conduit there. And so now it's built. You have to fill out all the slots, because you have to do that. Have to have a bridge or a cockpit. And now it shows you everything else we have. So it costs 50, but I think that's before my reduction of 35%. I think this will only cost us like 30 something. Power capacity is 40, because I have no storage on here, so it's only the internal capacity of the nuclear reactor, but that's not a big deal. Power capacity is not a huge deal unless you're like using lasers and stuff. And same with power recharge. What you really want to look at is recharge at warp. If this is positive, if you mouse over it, I think it explains. Yeah. If it's positive, it means this thing can warp indefinitely. If it's negative, it means this thing will have to occasionally stop in the middle of warping to basically recharge. Use the mass, FTL speed, turn rate, ordnance capacity, cargo space, you know, nothing too crazy. So we're going to save this as, oh, whoopsies, don't want to do that. I'm just going to call this Fight 1, because it's our first fighter. Not a very original ship name, I must say, but you see, it's only 10 more than the Flak Flaying, and I think it's going to be a lot better for sure. Okay, so let's check out our colony up here. See what's going on. Anything cool? Nothing particularly awesome yet. That is such a good planet, though. I'm like throwing up everywhere just thinking about it. Once I get these 2 fighters, I think I'll try and go fight those enemy dudes. These, you know, the remnants, whatever they're called. Maybe I'll build one more. I'll just quick build it. You can see we're actually losing some money right now, but it's not the end of the world. So you see we got 3 of those dudes. Alright. So we're going to go to this system, I believe. I'm going to warp here first. I don't want to warp really close because probably my fighters will warp too quickly. And now we're basically at this planet. So if we land our troops... Palanquin Crystal. Empire-wide sensor range bonus of 25%. Do I want this planet? If I want that planet, it's good fertility, so I'm going to actually have my warriors fight. You can actually see the fighting going on. When these numbers reach 0, they can fight, basically. So this guy's fighting. I think he can kill them. It might be close. So we met our first other race, the humans. So they're like, blah, 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 we are humans. Okay, so I'm sure that guy should be fine. We're gonna go fight this dude. I'm gonna zoom down to what times 1 speed so you guys can see. So I don't know if you guys saw how much faster these dudes got here. It's basically because they have the warp engines that are so much better. Here's this dude coming in. What are these dudes doing? No, go in. Head on attacks. Let's go. See, now I broke down his shield, so now he'll be easy to kill. So there's an anomaly on the human homeworld. What type of anomaly is it? Oh, it is one of those. Okay, we're gonna see if I can't get there and snag it from him.